Man, it's a good thing the Kings fired their coach. I can tell you that. That was a very good move. It really worked well. The Kings only lost by 10. No LeBron James. It's also really good to see that De'Aaron Fox has been working on his shooting. He was a miserable 1 of 9 from beyond the arc. And just to me, looks like a guy that just doesn't want to be anywhere near his teammates or his. I'm so tired of De'Aaron Fox right now. And you know what? I'm in a bad mood, so bear with me. You know what I'm tired of? I'm tired of the Kings being the laughing stock of the league. That's what I'm tired of. You have an incompetent owner who is a freaking buffoon. All right. You have an owner who is a buffoon, and you have the entire league and former coaches and current coaches ripping the hell out of the Kings. You've got media columnists ripping the hell out of the Kings, and you hire a coach. No disrespect to Doug. Doug does not deserve to be coaching a team right now. That's not how it works. Okay. And people go, gee, you got an axe to grind with Doug. This has nothing to do with that. You don't take a guy fourth on the bench and elevate him to interim coach. Okay. The Kings didn't lose tonight because of Doug Christie. They didn't lose, 18 games before tonight because of Mike Brown. They're a poorly constructed team, and DeMar DeRozan does not fit with this team. And the bench, for the most part, this year has sucked. All right. Sorry, I got my rant out of the way early.
How about no team fits with De'Aaron Fox, Grant? Why don't we just come to that conclusion? De'Aaron Fox is a fraud. I'm going to say that one more time. He is a fraud. The final line says 29 points. He was only a -5 for the game. Half of them came in garbage time. The guy didn't do anything that he is best at tonight. He sat back, shot threes, passed the ball around. Grant, this guy is out there with the one goal of not getting hurt. Sit his ass down, or else this team will not have a shot the rest of the season.
I'm with you. I'm okay with that. You know what? Start Keon Ellis and Malik Monk in the backcourt. Go ahead. I'm fine with that.
At least you have dignity.
I'm so tired. I'm so tired of this whole act. I really am. And I'm sorry, everyone, because you know what? I'm frustrated because you have a mess on your hands when 2 years ago you won 48 freaking games. And last year, with all the injuries, you won 46.
Spot on. Spot on. This fan base deserves so much better than this.
Thank you. That's what I say. You know how long I've been saying that for, Ryan? I don't know how long you've been listening to me when I started doing my radio show in 95. I wish I had $1 for every time I said that the fans of Sacramento deserve so much better. I would be just very well off.
You wouldn't be doing this show with me right now.
Well, you know what? You're probably right, but hey, listen, LeBron James did not play tonight.
Granted, it felt like they never had a chance, and LeBron didn't play, like you said. There was no fight from this team. Everything was on the perimeter. Austin Reeves, man, if De'Aaron Fox is a star, what's Austin Reeves, Grant?
26 points, 9 of 16. I'll tell you right now, if I'm at the game on Monday, when Vivek Ranadive walks out onto the floor, I'm booing his ass. When De'Aaron Fox is introduced, I'm booing his ass. And I'm going to boo all night long. And I'm going to make sure that they hear me booing all night long. And I'm not going to stop until I'm hoarse.
You know what? I got a text from somebody close to the situation. What if the fans just went silent? The loudest fan base in the NBA goes silent.
The way to be silent is don't go to the games and have an empty arena.
Yeah, that would, and
that's silence for you.
It's going to be interesting. And I meant what I said at the start of the show, but I'm also being serious. If you want this team to progress further, if you want this rebuild to be done right, because that's what we are heading for, sit Fox down.
Yep.
Sit
absolutely
down.
Yep. I'm with you 100%. I'll tell you, the happiest guy in Northern California right now is Mike Brown in his beautiful home in El Dorado Hills. And he's just got a big smile on his face. And I would too. And Mike, you know what? I got my arm wrapped around you. Good for you. All right. Good for you, because you got railroaded.
Absolutely. It's so sad for this city in this sense, Grant. And you know this. Kings fans, the team they have to do twice as much to get
Yep.
half the recognition.
Yep.
Regular team in the NBA.
Yep.
Yet you
Well,
step in it over and over and over, and that's all you hear about. All you hear about. And this was fair too. They deserved what they're getting right now.
thank you, AB, for the super chat donation. Fox is disgraceful, and this team is lost and doesn't give a rat's ass. I miss Coach Brown. Should have fired Fox, not Brown. How about Keegan Murray again, not shooting the ball? It is, what the hell has happened to him? 1 of 6 from 3.
It's like a lost kid. He's like a lost child and all this. I will say the one thing that I liked that Doug has done is he went down the line to a guy, said, this is your role. You're starting. You're going to be doing this. You are in the rotation. So at least this team has roles now. That is a little bit different. But
okay, what makes you think Mike Brown didn't do that?
Well, I would say I'm fairly confident that did not happen because publicly Mike talked about I'm not comfortable in my rotation. I got to keep trying stuff, somehow, some way. And I think part of the problem, and maybe Grant, I'm going to kick this to you. I think Mike was a little too open this year with the media. I think he overshared.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you exactly why. If Mike was sitting next to me right now, he'd probably be shaking his head going, yep. Mike got a brand new contract, signed, sealed, and delivered last summer. And with that contract comes bigger balls. Because you don't like what I say, fire me. I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to say what I want. If you don't like it, send me packing. That's exactly what happened. Mike had the confidence to do what he wanted and say what he wanted because he had a new shiny contract with money to last him for more than a lifetime. So with that comes a different demeanor. It's kind of like, okay, you know what? I'm going to say what I want. I'm going to do what I want. And if you don't like it, fire me. That's what happened.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a bad thing. It's a bad thing because I've always felt that your personality and your demeanor should not change because of a contract or because of success. I saw it with Aaron Rodgers.
Sure.
I mean, there's not a better example in our sports society today than Aaron Rodgers. He went from a gregarious, social butterfly, hanging out with the guys at the high limit room at Harrah's, drinking beer, laughing, spending a lot of time with the fans, a lot of time with the media, to being a recluse now. I mean, he doesn't stay at the hotel anymore. He's never seen. He blows off media members one after another where he used to be so accommodating. He's become a headache up there because he is so uncooperative in terms of when he's asked to do things. And that bothers me. Your personality should not change because you won a Super Bowl. So when you ask me, is it a good thing or a bad thing? It's probably not a good thing, but I don't think Mike overstepped it, Ryan. Like, I don't think that he was like way out there. And listen, I don't have any problem for him calling out Fox after the game. What do you think Michael Malone would have done?
Oh, times 2.
You don't think Michael Malone would have called out De'Aaron Fox after that play?
Oh, absolutely he would.
And no one would have had a problem with it in Denver. No one. They would have applauded Michael Malone. And yet Mike Brown gets fired.
Yeah. Grant, I think Mike's biggest mistake, Coach Brown, I want to give him that respect instead of saying Mike. Coach Brown's biggest mistake was giving the guys too much autonomy last year. You put too much power in their hands. You put the offense in their hands. He said it to the media. And then you get a piece like DeMar DeRozan. Pressure builds a little bit, expectation to get higher. And then you have to pull it back. And that doesn't always work very well. And certainly that does not work with De'Aaron Fox.
All right, I'm going to make this statement here on December 28th or whatever day it is. Nothing is going to change.
No.
In Sacramento, as long as Vivek Ranadive is your owner. Just so you as a fan, you decide what you're going to do.
Can you
But
stop
if you
putting this?
think that, I mean, again, I want to make this very clear. I lost a lot of respect for Doug, a lot. There are many things that happened that I know that you don't know,
Mm.
that you may know in the future with judicial proceedings. I lost a lot of respect for the man, a lot. But I have nothing against him in terms of being in this role. I have a problem with the fact that he shouldn't be in this role. Do you understand the difference?
Yeah, he
It's
didn't earn
not
it.
his fault.
He's
Okay.
not qualified.
I
Yeah.
would have accepted the job too if they came to me and said, "Hey, you want to be the interim coach, and I get a bump in pay, and I get to stay at a luxury suite everywhere on the road, and I can be the man, and it's the only chance of my life that I'm ever going to get a chance to be a head coach. And who knows, if I do well, maybe I'll be the permanent head coach." I don't have a problem with that. I don't. I have a problem with the owner asking him to be the interim coach because he doesn't deserve it. Okay, it's not proper. He doesn't deserve it. As far as Doug being there, no problem. I would have done the same thing.
Yep.
Okay. So for those people that are going, you got an axe to grind with Doug. Not, and you know what? I've already made my bed. Okay. I lost a lot of respect for him, and it's based on some things that I know that you don't. Okay. But in terms of him being in this position, I don't begrudge him at all. It's not his fault.
Doug Christie may not know what he's getting himself into.
But he has nothing to lose.
Yeah, no, it's a fair point.
He has nothing to lose. He can say, at the end of his, whenever he gets to be his old age, hey, I was an NBA head coach for a while. Not a lot of people can say that.
Very true. Appreciate all the super chats. Let's hit some of these. By the way, call the show. This is your opportunity to get on. Give us your take on what's going on. We want to hear from you. After all, this last 48 hours has affected you directly, and at the worst time of the year too. The holidays.
Oh,
get out of here.
You know what the problem is? Here's the problem. It's just the same thing over and over and over again. It's not like the fans think that things are going to get any better. How can they? How are things going to get better? Help me out with that. How are things going to get better when you have a buffoon as an owner?
And you got a yes man coaching the team. Charles, thank God we lost. Didn't want Mike Brown detractors to be proven right. Well, that's going to be over a larger sample size than one game. AB, can we fire Vivek? What a piece of crap. Look, Grant, the people have all the power in the world, the fans.
Yes, they do. But very, very rarely do the fans exercise their power towards ownership. We did see it this past year in Oakland with the A's fans, did we not?
We did. It's expensive, Grant. It is expensive to exercise your quote unquote right with ownership.
All right. So before we take phone calls, I want to ask you this. Did anything appear different to you tonight in terms of rotations or anything else? Like, for instance, Keon Ellis, should have he been playing more?
I don't mind Keon playing more in this game. There's a couple things that were definitely different. Crash zones, gone. The crashing the boards, the physicality was not there. Defensively, they went to the zone once. They've done that in the past. They gave up the corners a lot more. They're not leaving their guys as much, but they're giving up the corner in a different way. And the third thing and the most troubling thing to me, besides the De'Aaron stuff that we hit at the top, was the use of Sabonis. Sabonis might be the one who suffers the most from this, Grant. Mark my words.
Explain why.
Because you are now not running a physical offense. You are not using him you are not playing to his strengths anymore. You are playing a perimeter basketball game. Kings games for the rest of the season, if this is the style that we continue to see, are going to be based off one thing: jump shooting. Do they go in or do they go out? That's why the assists are going to look good and the Kings will still lose, Napes.
It's a great point. So it's a really good point. And what about the defense tonight? In 2 quarters, in the first quarter and the third quarter, he gave up a total of 82 points without LeBron James. Think about that. Oh, and can I add one other thing? You're now only 1 game up in the loss column over the Portland Trailblazers, who beat Dallas tonight.
That's right.
So you're now 13 and 19. You're in 12th, and you're almost in 13th. Your season is over. Let's just call it the way it is. You're done.
Yeah, and here's the other thing. They were in the bonus, Grant, So in the first half, they only got back-to-back stops 3 times. And then they were in the bonus very early in the second and third quarters. So, or excuse me, third and fourth quarters.
Third and fourth.
Which absolutely killed them. I mean, basically, the Lakers won this game at the foul line. The Kings fouled them 26 times. The Lakers shot 33 free throws, 1 by 10. The Kings only shot, 15 free throws. So let's knock these super chats out because we really appreciate those. And let's get to the phones here in a second. Appreciate everybody being here. Make sure that you subscribe. We'll get to these as the show goes on with the supers. In fact, why don't we get to the phones first and we will bring them up. Gammon, what's going on tonight, my friend?
It's a good one. How you guys doing?
Good. How you doing, sir?
Well, to be honest with you, a couple days ago before Mike Brown got fired, one of the things I said was this team has tuned head coach Mike Brown out. Like it was evident. We're acting like we have came to this fast realization that people have been sleepwalking on Coach Mike Brown. And it doesn't have to be solely on him. It can be a network of things that are undergoing and undermining our head coach. Somebody said, when I said that, he said, now he's a bum. He's the problem. The coach, fire him in the offseason after he was, leader up or was the head coach of the year. It wasn't solely that. It was just a matter of fact. Like if I ever saw my spouse acting and behaving the same way that I see some of the players were around Coach Brown, like you guys got to understand, like it's time to walk away.
How do you explain tonight?
How do I explain tonight? So I would say this during the halftime, and I'm very glad you answered that. So I will stop off from where I was going to respond with that. What I saw.
Hold on. Let me jump in. If we're going to go point by point, I couldn't disagree with you more. Coach Brown lost one player. One player. He just happened to be the most important player.
Agreed. I agree with you 100%, Ryan.
So go ahead, Gammon.
Yeah, and I would say, the most important player lost him. It's a little tough to lose Tom Brady. But I will say this. During the halftime, during the Supers, I did say this. It's almost like De'Aaron Fox is trying to miss the shots on purpose. Now, I was being very tongue-in-cheek. He wanted to make every single one of those shots. In fact, when you look at some of the top 5 statistical categories for tonight, he was our leader in points, which I did not assume. I would have thought that would have been Sabonis or Monk or somebody else. He was our leader in assists. He was our leader in blocks. He was our leader in other things, and he was sleepwalking. And to me, it really gave the impression that he wasn't trying. The thing was, I think he was actually trying so hard because I think somebody knew that somebody got pushed out of the door. And I hate to be another conspiracy theorist, but I said also too during the halftime supers, during the halftime, I said Lakers will settle for threes and win. And they most certainly did. Like, was anybody at all surprised over the last 2 quarters from what we've seen from this team from the last 36 games? We knew this team was going to do that. I remember in the third quarter, 2 minutes and 27 seconds left to go, when Alex Len went down, and Alex Davis broke him down. And it was, it wasn't anything like I saw from Akeem Olajuwon, or it wasn't this crazy double back move, and just shook. And it was just terrible. And then also too, I want to say this. Why did it feel like we were funneling Trey Lyles the entire game? Like, I think some of it, when I look back at the tape, so before we came back to this, and we're going to third quarter during halftime, I went back right on my YouTube. It just somehow we had no choice but to keep giving Lyles the 3-point ball. And the young man just wasn't there. And I was saying this before the season started. The young man hasn't seemed right since the Olympics. And then 152.
Go ahead. Final thought. We got to get to some other people, buddy.
The final 2 minutes of third quarter, again, that's where I really think a lot of things went wrong. I think things really went sideways 4 minutes, 22 seconds in third quarter. But 2 minutes in, right, 152, great stop at Pop, but does it go in for Fox? It was a lot of low-hanging fruit from Fox and Lyles, and that's why this team didn't win. I think anything else is heavily extrapolated on that. But that's what I feel, and that's what I know.
Gammon, really quick, and I'm going to just say this. 14 of Fox's points came in garbage time. You realize that? 14 of his points. 4 of his assists came in garbage time. Does this sound like somebody that cares? Me. Wrong one.
Doug addressed us before we took off, and after that,
So I remember a couple weeks ago, and Grant, I asked you this question. I said, do you think that De'Aaron Fox is overpaid? And he said, well, he's overpaid compared to teachers, community service members, people in the military. But compared to his peers, he's being overpaid for what he's supposed to be, a leader, a foundational person, somebody who's supposed to bring us wins. So, and I would say this too, and I did bring this up a couple weeks ago, is De'Aaron Fox being overpaid a couple weeks ago?
Well, you know what? It doesn't matter if he's overpaid or not. And thank you, Gammon.
Because now we know.
It doesn't matter. I'll answer the question. It really doesn't matter if he's overpaid or not. Because that doesn't affect you and it doesn't affect me. And whether he's overpaid or not, I've seen De'Aaron Fox play now for 8 years, and I know what he's capable of. And he's not playing to his capabilities right now, and his attitude sucks, and his demeanor sucks. And so I don't really give a damn how much he's getting paid. Whether he's getting paid $100 or $100 million, he's under-delivering for the team based on his ability. Okay? That's what's important to me. He's not being a professional, period.
The fact that we can draw a line because we've seen both sides of it, and too many times we see both sides of it in the same game between engaged Fox and disengaged Fox, that in itself right there is a problem, Nabes. A massive problem to be your leader of the team. Rob in Sac, what's going on tonight, bud?
Hey, guys. Hey, Ryan. Hey, Grant.
Hey, Rob.
How are you?
Good. I'm going to keep it short and simple. First off, Grant, you're a legend.
Thank you.
A legend.
I'm not even a legend on my own.
Sorry,
home.
I had a phone call. Can you guys see me?
Yeah.
Yes, we hear you good. Go ahead.
Damn it.
You're good.
You're good.
Good.
You're
Go ahead.
good.
Hello?
Talk. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
good.
you're good.
Talk.
You're good.
Can you see me?
You're good.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. I was getting...
Just talk.
Oh,
All right, Rob, put the phone on air. Oh, you can't put it on airplane. We'll come to you. Just talk. You're good. Even if we can't see you, we can hear you, brother. Jake, what's going on tonight? Jake, you're muted.
First off, thank you for the show. It's been a refreshing outlet and like voice of reason during these frustrating times. Like we just lost 6 games. It's ridiculous. First off, I feel like Fox like just is hurting his trade value at this point too, which I just did not like. Sorry, my dog just started barking. I feel like Austin Reeves, to your point, Ryno, like played really well, and I feel like Austin Reeves just shows you what Fox is missing.
I hate to do this. We cannot hear you with the dog barking. When the dog calms down, please join us. But we can't hear you, and we'll bring you back when the dog calms down. Thank you.
Man, even the dogs are excited tonight, my man.
The dogs have had enough. That's what the hell's going on. They're even done. They're done with Vivek. They're done with this team. They're done. You know, the dogs are not stupid. They know what the hell's going on. The dog just looked outside and said, geez, no beam again? Oh my God. You know, is the beam out of order? Well, yeah, it pretty much is out of order right now.
Back to chasing my tail. Damn. Dennis, what's up?
Yo, Ryno. You hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Hey, Grant, how's it going?
Okay, buddy.
Yeah, it's basically soft serve for us. I mean, these teams just love going downhill, attacking us, get to the foul line, make their free throws. I think they had 33 attempts or 26 versus our 11 to 15. And it's the same problem we've had with the last coach to the new coach. So I don't see any changes. I mean, the lineup rotations, I really thought we could have went a little bit bigger at times, but we stayed small, and then they just kept attacking us, and we're just too soft.
Without LeBron James.
Yeah.
Without LeBron James.
Yeah.
They score 132 points without LeBron James on the floor. Think about that for a minute.
Yeah, we're just so soft right now.
58 in the paint. 58.
We're just too soft, and that's the number one weakness right now. And this, I feel like, Lynn's great and everything, but he's not a rebounder. He's not. He'll box a guy out, but he's not the guy who will go get your rebound. Like, we need more physicality. We need more toughness down
Yeah.
there, and we just don't have it right now. Everybody's checked out. I feel like that's us, and we're tanking now. So.
Well, I would say this, Dennis. I don't think everybody's checked out. We need to see a bigger sample size with Doug as the
Yeah.
coach. But
Well,
to me, the crash zones were not there, and that was a big point of emphasis this season in training camp.
The only reason why I would say certain guys are checking out is when your leader's going 1 of 9 from 3. It trickles down. You got another guy going 1 of 6. You got another guy going 0 of 5. And we talked about this. When 3 guys get into a stinky 3-point shooting slump on this team, no matter if it's not Keon, Monk or Herder or Fox or Lyles, 3 guys at 2 of 20 from downtown. You're telling me you couldn't find 18 better shots than that? I mean, that's.
Yeah. No, I hear you,
Thank
Dennis.
you.
Thanks for the call.
Hey, thank you very much. We really appreciate that. Glad to have so many people on the stream. I want to get to a rant with Grant, brought to you by EDH Motors, Automotive Reimagine. You go to edhmotors.com. You can see what they can offer you. This is a long overdue new concept. David and Adam do a great job. They have decades of experience in the automotive industry. And remember, when you go to their website, if you don't see what you're looking for, hey, they'll get it for you. Okay. They'll get exactly what you are looking for. That's what they do at EDH Motors. You'll take delivery at their beautiful auto lounge in the El Dorado Hills Town Center. No dealership. You don't have to deal with all of that. It's actually a fun experience. And yeah, you're going to save some money and time as well. Go to edhmotors.com. That's edhmotors.com and check out everything that EDH Motors Automotive Reimagine can do for you. Well, here we are again and again and again and again and again. With the exception of maybe 8 years, with the exception of maybe 8 to 10 years since the Kings moved in 1985. The Sacramento Kings are the laughingstock of the NBA for one reason, not their record. They're the laughingstock of the NBA because of their owner. That's right. The Kings are a joke. They're a circus in NBA laurels. That's right. They are a joke. They are a team that people will criticize and make fun of when you have former coaches like Michael Malone speaking and hitting it right on the money. No class, no balls. T-shirts need to be printed and worn to the next game with Vivek's face on it. No class, no balls. Perfect. And on the back, jock sniffer. That's what you have. I moved to Sacramento in 1987 and fell in love with this franchise quickly. A year later, I started announcing and had 32 glorious years, ups and downs, but I loved my job. But there's nothing worse than having the nation, the sports nation, make fun of the team that you love. I'm so tired of it. I'm so tired of it. You have an owner who's a buffoon. And as I said 15 minutes ago, I have lost a lot of respect for Doug Christie. A lot, based on what I have learned since June of 2020. But I don't have any problem with him being the interim coach because I would have accepted it as well if they had come to me. I have a problem with the fact that he doesn't deserve to be the interim coach. It's completely wrong. Okay? It's wrong. You have 2 coaches that were ahead of him in line. One of those 2 should have been named interim coach, probably Jay Triano. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke what's going on in Sacramento. And if you think things are going to get better because you have Doug Christie as your interim coach or Jay Triano as your interim coach or anyone else, you're wrong. Okay? You're wrong. Everyone knows what the problem is in Sacramento. George Karl knows. Michael Malone knows. Jordi Fernandez knows. Steve Kerr knows. because Vivek was the minority owner there. There's no secrets in the NBA. Everyone knows. Your owner is a buffoon and has no idea what the hell he's doing. What else do you need to see? I'm so tired of saying I feel bad for you, but I do. I feel bad for all Kings fans. What are you going to do Monday when you go to the game? If you go to the game, what are you going to do when Vivek Ranadive walks out onto the floor and sits at center court with a rock star or a former athlete or someone that's famous? What are you going to do when De'Aaron Fox is introduced? It's up to you. It's about time you be heard. It's about time that you are heard. That decision is yours, not mine. I know what I'd do, but I don't know what you're going to do. And that's my rant for tonight.
Amen. And for those that missed it, here's Mike Malone.
And I go into the meeting, and the coaches said, "You hear about Mike Brown?" And I said, "Why? What happened?" And they said he got fired. And at first, I was really shocked and surprised. And then I caught myself. I said, why am I shocked and surprised? For two reasons. One, because as an NBA head coach, ultimately, you're going to get the blame. When they win, it's going to go to Sabonis and Fox. When you lose, it's going to go to Mike Brown. That's the way it works. And two, who he works for. So I'm not surprised that Mike Brown got fired, because I got fired by the same person. And what really pissed me off about it was the fact that they lost last night, 5th game in a row, I believe. Tough loss, fouling a jump shooter. They had practice this morning. He does his post-game media, and he's in his car going to the airport to fly to LA, and they call him on the phone. No class, no.
I love Michael Malone. I love that man.
That could have been your NBA champion head coach.
That's right.
Sacramento.
Well, it wouldn't have been if you had kept DeMarcus Cousins, but that's for another day. Michael Malone is great, and he's spot on. And every coach in the league knows this. Every assistant coach in the league knows this. You know, there are coaches that will take jobs for obvious reasons. The pay is great, and you can fulfill your dream. Coaches don't want to come here. And I'm not going to mention a name, but I know this coach. He's currently an NBA coach. Currently, right now, today, he's a coach in the NBA. And a couple of years ago, he was interviewing as a finalist for the job in Sacramento. And he left the interview and said he wasn't interested after meeting with Vivek. He said, there's no way this is going to work, and said, thank you very much, and flew back across the country.
Grant, you just hit the nail on the head, because you're not necessarily attracting the best coaches. You're attracting the coaches that are looking for a paycheck, because you have an owner that will pay you and let you go.
Vlade was getting paid for years. Luke Walton, Dave Yeager got paid for years. Now Mike Brown's going to get paid for the next 3.5 years. I mean, we can go on and on and on. It's unbelievable. It really is absolutely unbelievable how much money this man has wasted.
Unreal. And it ultimately goes back to the fans. They're the ones that pay for it. All right, Jake, put those dogs away. Or send them to the G1C and let them do commentary. Either way, Jake, what's up?
Thank you, guys. Sorry, yes, the dog's
Good.
away. No, just to continue, I just feel like Fox was hurting his trade value tonight, which was not good for our long-term future. And then just juxtaposed with Austin Reeves, how efficient he is, how well he shoots. It's like it's just like a winning player. And that was one of my takeaways. Another one of my takeaways was Alex Len. He played about 12 minutes tonight. He's 7 feet tall. He got 0 rebounds. And when Ryno talks about emphasis on crashing the boards, like that is hurt. That hurts the Kings. And then last thing, Keon Ellis is my favorite player. He was 4 for 4. 3 for 3 on 3-point land. I think, like, even when he makes mistakes, you can see like how frustrated he is. You can see how he thinks about the game, and that's just a player I root for. And I wish the Kings had more players I could root for.
Well said,
Thank
Jake.
you very much for joining us. Thank you for the patience with the dog, and we had to go, but it's great to have your comments, and Happy New Year to you. Thank you.
Yeah, happy
Happy
New
New Year,
Year.
buddy.
Thank you, guys.
Well,
Not a happy New Year for Kings fans, though, right?
no, it's not. We got a lot of them that want to be heard. Josh, what's going on tonight?
Hi guys, how are you guys doing today?
Josh, what's up?
Oh man, I saw the game. Tough loss, as always. We're in I think this is like a 6-game losing streak right now. We just lost to the Lakers. I was just deeply disappointed on how they just executed the end. Oh man, like a lot of stuff's been happening with this organization. I just don't like how the direction that they're going right now. The firing of coach of Mike Brown is just a disaster, and I just hate to say this, but some fans are just backing up behind De'Aaron Fox. Sometimes it just grinds my gears at times when they're just like, oh, Fox is okay. We could still build around him and whatnot. No, dude, stop. We're done with this. And you're right, Grant. You got to face reality. It is what it is right now. We can't move on with Fox. We gotta do something with this team, and if it means moving from Fox, then I'm all for it.
Well, De'Aaron, to me, if Ryan, help me out with this, okay?
Sure.
If we were going to see a change in De'Aaron Fox, we would have seen it tonight.
Oh yeah,
right?
No doubt.
So it's not like I'm expecting this to change. The change would have occurred tonight in the game, and I there was no change.
With as sensitive as he is, it would have been his chance to shove it to Mike Brown and have Mike Brown have no chance for a rebuttal. Tonight was that night. Did not happen.
No, that is just spot on. I totally agree with that. If this was the game that he was gonna try to change himself with like the better, it would have been right now. But so far, we're just seeing the same old from Fox.
And Josh Grant, here's the other thing: who's gonna push De'Aaron? Your only hope, really, of pushing De'Aaron, and no disrespect to Doug, because if it was Doug, it would have already happened, is going to be Devin Carter. And let's take a little break really quick. I know he scored over 30 points tonight in Stockton. He should. He's a first-round pick. But Devin Carter might push De'Aaron a little bit if it translates. And I talked to some people, Josh and Grant, in Stockton. Him continuing to play for Stockton until he's called back will completely be his choice based upon how he feels after the games. And that's really the most important thing in his health. So how does he feel tomorrow? That's the big thing.
Yeah, sooner rather than later. But he's not going to be enough to save this season, even if he's really good.
No, but he might give the fan base a little bit of excitement. Because right now there's no excitement on the floor. None. Josh.
You're spot on. I totally agree. And in fact, honestly, I was gonna go watch the Kings game and that was going away against the Lakers, and I was actually expecting him to play, but turns out I learned that he was actually playing for Stockton Kings at the time. So, I guess I'll have to wait. I was kind of excited to see him play. The way they were like drafting him, they were kind of wondering what kind of player he is, even though we could have gotten like, Dalton Connect and whatnot. But I just hope this player of Devin Carter would have a little bit of promise once he hits the floor. I'm just rooting for the guy.
Thank you.
Thanks, Josh.
Hey, I want to tell you about New Works Plumbing. They've got a fixed view. They're available around the clock 24/7. Go to sackserviceplumbing.com or call the number on your screen. New Works Plumbing, they are awesome. Appreciate all the positive feedback. For those of you that have used New Works Plumbing when needed, we appreciate that, and they do as well. Again, New Works Plumbing at sackserviceplumbing.com. New Works Plumbing, they've got a fix for you. You want to feel better about tonight's loss? Go to Bennett's tomorrow for their great brunch. Go to bennettsrestaurants.com to make a reservation. Sacramento, Roseville, the West Side Grill in Rockland. Prime seafood and steak at Bennett's. Awesome. And again, you will love their brunch. Check it out tomorrow. Make a reservation at bennettsrestaurants.com.
Making me hungry. Cal, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, what's up, guys? I think it's safe to say that the happiest man in Sacramento is Mike Brown, right?
Yep. I'd be happy as hell if I were Mike Brown. I'd want the team to lose every game.
Yep. And getting paid a lot of money, staying home. Do you guys honestly see the Kings win? Like, I'm looking at the schedule right now. Do you guys see when's the next game that they're going to win? Any winnable games?
I think they might win Monday because Dallas without Luka can't win a game, and they lost to Portland tonight. Real quickly, they didn't have a choice to build around Halliburton because Indiana didn't want Fox, so we appreciate that very much. But that deal was not on the table. But I think I'll just answer the question this way: if they don't beat Dallas without Luka, they may not win a game for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
The
schedule gets, like you guys been saying this whole week, that they haven't played like the Boston, they haven't played the Warriors, they haven't played any the Knicks. The schedule gets harder and harder, and as a Kings fan and all of us in this chat, we're embarrassed. This is an embarrassment, and I plan on not going to any games this season, and I hope people who go to the game this Monday, I hope they boo. I really hope they boo, because this is an embarrassment. We're an embarrassment to the NBA once again, and
This team's not going to win 40 games this year.
No, not at all, and it sucks because we have to watch this. I mean, I'm a Kings fan and I like watching the games, but this is an embarrassment. It really does suck.
I mean this with all seriousness, and I'm not being facetious. Go to Stockton. You might see a better basketball game.
Oh, and
for a cheaper price.
They're cheaper and they're playing really well.
Yep, go to Stockton.
Yeah.
So,
all right, guys.
out.
Well, hey, Happy New Year to you guys.
Happy New Year to you, buddy. Thanks for always calling in. Appreciate you.
Thank
you. Keeping them rolling. NBA guru.
Hey, how you guys doing? I just want to talk about Vivek here. I just want to get to know why. Like, I just want to get in his mind. Like, how can he be so classless, unprofessional? How is he so unaware after 10 years of sitting courtside around all these people, all of the people in the league, that he's been around all these owners? How is he so unaware? And like, how is he so unaware that the league and like the national media, how they perceive us? I mean, he's seen it with Malone. He's seen it with other coaches and stuff like that. This is just deja vu. Like, how does he not get it?
Because his personality is such that he thinks he knows more than you do, regardless of what you do for a living.
He's just an egomaniac.
I wouldn't say he's an egomaniac. I would say he's extremely.
Zach, sorry, Grant. You got to lay off that heavy breathing into the mic. Okay.
I would say that he's. I don't think he's an egomaniac. I'm not really sure how to describe him, other than the fact that as educated as he is, and he's extremely well educated, and is very, very successful in what made him his money. But when it comes to sports, and I've talked about this in the past, I talk to a lot of people. I've met a lot of people. I've never met someone that knows as little about sports as he does. And we used to sit and talk with him, and then at the end of the conversation, I'd look to I go, God, can you believe that? Can you believe he really thinks that he said that he thinks this guy? He just doesn't have any idea. And I don't know why he should, especially after owning the team now for, as you said, 10 years, but he doesn't. So, and he thinks he knows more than you do. That's his biggest problem.
But isn't that okay if he's hands off?
Yeah, but he's not hands off.
Right. Okay.
It's just crazy because I can like take my 10-year-old cousin.
All right, hey, move the mic a little bit closer.
I can bring him. I can bring my 10-year-old cousin to the game, sit courtside with him for 10 years. He probably would have known not to fire the head coach at that point in the season. Like, I just don't get. I mean, like, doesn't he have a team around him that tells him these things? I mean, like,
he doesn't listen to it. He'll ask a lot of questions. He asks a lot of questions, but then he'll do what he wants. He won't really listen to what you're saying. Listen, I'm not in a position to share confidential stories. Okay. But trust me when I say this, I know what I'm talking about. Okay. That's all I'm going to say. Just trust me on this. Okay.
Yeah. I'm guessing also he has a lot of yes men around him and stuff like that. I'm just guessing.
Of course, they want to keep their jobs. They have families. They want to get paid every 2 weeks.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, the only bright side here that we keep losing is just we're going to get a better pick, and hopefully that'll be a decent asset for us for next year. But there's nothing good for coming up for this season. The only thing good that's going to be for this season is hope Devin Carter looks like a good player and develops into a decent guard, and that we
Yeah.
see some good potential. Get a pick, add that asset, and maybe we trade Fox, maybe we don't, but at least we're getting some a couple young players out of it this year.
Thanks,
Thank
Zach.
you.
Appreciate you.
Somebody wants me to reveal the stories. I'm not going to reveal confidential, private moments to attack someone's reputation. I'm not going to do that. Okay. I think that's immoral, and unless somebody attacks me and I have to come back at them, I'm not going to do that. Vivek's never attacked me. I'm not going to do that. I'm just trust me when I tell you. I know.
AB, welcome into the conversation.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
AB.
we got you.
Right on. First time caller. Question for Grant. You've been an announcer for 32 years with the Kings. You've seen a lot of hirings and firings. In the post Rick Adelman era, what would you say is at this moment, not what we know in the future, but was firing Coach Mike Malone or Mike Brown worse?
Oh, Michael
from your
Malone,
take?
no question about it. Michael Malone had the locker room, the respect of everyone in the locker room, the respect of the media. Michael Malone was a coach that you just need successful. No question it was Michael Malone.
Okay. Fair enough. I was just curious what your take is with that.
Well, you got to remember that was his first time head coach for Michael Malone with Sacramento. Mike Brown's been a head coach previously in a lot of different cities, and so you kind of know what you're getting with Mike Brown. Whereas with Michael Malone, it was more of an opportunity. Hey, you have a chance to be a really good head coach, and let's hope you can become that guy for me. But it never got that far. And here's something else I want to say. I read a report today. I think it was on CBS Sports. And I can't remember the individual that was quoted, so forgive me for this. Anybody that thinks that Monty McNair fired Mike Brown and not Vivek Ranadive is delusional and clueless. Okay, you're absolutely living on a foreign piece of dirt out in the Milky Way. Okay, you are oblivious to what's going on. Mike Brown was not fired by Monty McNair. He was fired by Vivek Ranadive. If you don't believe that, shame on you.
Great
AB,
statement there.
appreciate you, brother. Thanks
Thank you.
for hanging in there and waiting.
Thank you.
Keeping them rolling. Ashley, welcome in.
Hey, gentlemen. Hey, Grant, I just want to say I grew up with you, man. High school, I was my first Kings game was a Warriors game. I was from the Bay Area. It was a Warriors run TMC game against the Kings. Rooted for the Warriors, obviously, but through my time in Sacramento, became a huge Kings fan. Obviously in 2000s, White Chocolate, Peja, everything. I was in high school. Those were like the golden years of the Kings. And, you and Jerry definitely made it so memorable for me and my friends. And
Thank you.
After what they did to you during that time, to be honest, I stopped really caring and paying attention to see, people that were supposedly loyal to you. And I stopped listening to the radio. It just wasn't the same. Just obviously your show was just had a big impact locally with so many people. Just hearing you, I remember just like, there'd be like Lynn, the San Antonio fan, or like the Cowboy guy you'd make fun of, like
Stanley, yeah.
just, certain things were just, but I knew obviously there was a hard line to kind of walk, obviously, because you were commentating for the team and then going against certain things. But I knew that your passion and was there. And obviously, what they did to you. And then I don't want to kind of lean, I still want to talk about basketball, but this team, I stopped watching when they became the wokest team in the league with their politics. It was so hard for me to give money to an organization that openly supported policies that I did not stand for.
It's embarrassing.
It's, you know, and
It's
it,
embarrassing.
and
There's no
you
other
know,
way to say it. It's embarrassing. And
yeah,
your lead TV announcer, okay, is still employed
yep,
despite his despicable messaging on social media that is beyond comprehension to me. But yet that's fine. But don't say all lives matter, every single one, because that's not okay.
it's a hard thing to see, you know, with Facebook posts, anti-police rhetoric, like all this stuff. And it's like, how do you expect me to spend my money? You know, I'm 40 years old now. I started watching the team when I was in middle school. How am I supposed to give money to this team? And then let's talk basketball. Okay. Like, I will not support this team. Like I said, ever since, you know, they let you go, I've kind of looked at the scoreboards and kind of laughed about, you know, Vivek and his ownership style and the things that, you know, that, like you said, Grant, you know, tonight in a couple of days, you know, we deserve better than this and we deserve more. And unfortunately, it's hard for me to, you know, give my time and money to an organization that it's not worth it. You know, I can look at it from the sidelines and, you know, honestly, like, I stepped away, but I'm listening to you guys right now because I'm fed up. And I feel like this is the only voice and this is the only kind of arena where, you know, Kings fans like me can honestly speak up and let their true feelings kind of show as how they really feel about this organization and this incompetent owner. But, you know, that's all I had to say for tonight. But, you know, I'm going to be watching you guys more from now and hope to give you guys a call back. But, you know, thanks again for all you guys do. Thank you, Grant. Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ashley.
Somebody just put on the message while you were on, Black Lives Matter too. It's okay to say that. I've never once in my life said that Black lives don't matter. Not once, nor have I ever thought that. Really appreciate that call. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Call back,
Yep.
Please. We'd love to
Yep.
hear from you.
Excellent call.
Umar, what's going on? Yep. Not ready. Jordan, what's happening tonight?
I was wondering why Orlando Robinson's not playing.
Ryan, what do you think about that?
You know, I think Coach Christie thinks he needs some more seasoning, and I can't disagree with him there, Jordan. How old are you?
I'm 15.
15? What do you think? Do you think Orlando should be playing?
Yeah,
Why is that?
because he's a great big.
Okay. You've been following his career in Stockton?
Yeah.
Okay. Like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's the bright side, and Grant, maybe you can give some context to this. If this train keeps heading the way it is, Jordan, you're probably going to get to see some more Orlando Robinson as the season goes along.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
okay.
very true. Yeah. Hey, listen, thank you very much for taking the time to call the show and call again, okay?
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it. Someone says all lives matter, even Sacramento Kings lives. Oh my God. Yeah. Why isn't Jay Crowder playing? Somebody said, because he's not very good. That's why.
Yeah. Yep. Man.
I used to be good. I mean, he used to be. I was always a Jay Crowder fan, but he's just father time.
You know what? I respect what he's doing on the back end, though.
Me too.
Speaking of the young guys, I know Jordan was talking about Orlando Robinson, but Isaac, he's taken him over. Isaac Jones, meeting the referees, showing him the ways. In fact, after the tryout or the open run that they did in September, those two stayed in touch. So sometimes that stuff can be just as valuable as what's happening on the court.
There's a good point. I think he's a good guy to have in the locker room. Unfortunately, nothing's working right now.
Yeah, and
can you believe this team? Can you believe this team is 13-19? Think about that for a second. And they've been relatively healthy.
No. And for the first time in a really long time, and I'm not talking about during this Beam Team run, this fan base feels angry, Grant. Angry.
They are angry, and they should be angry, and they should say enough is enough, and they should let their voices be heard in however they deem it to be the best way to do. They should be mad, Ryan. They should be.
Yep. And I love that we're getting the calls. You can use this forum for that. Be here.
Now
we're here for it.
Think about this for a minute. You've got Dallas coming up next.
Yep.
And you will not see Luka, and without Luka, they look terrible. Then you have Philadelphia. If Joel Embiid plays, you'll lose that game. Then you have Memphis coming in, you'll lose that game. You're at Golden State, toss up. Then the next night, second night of a back-to-back, you're playing Miami. You'll lose that game. Then you're going to lose at Boston. You might win at Chicago. You're going to lose at Milwaukee. You're going to lose at home to Houston. You'll win at home against Washington. And, by then, the Golden One Center will be lucky if it's 50% full.
I think it'll be more than 50% full. You're just going to see ticket prices plummet. Like the season ticket holders that are being asked to buy tickets for next year right about now.
Oh, boy.
Let's rethink that. You're thinking, okay, we're going to get in early, Grant. We're going to get
not
on
raise the prices.
Of course they're going to. They're going to have to. And I think we actually need to start looking at the schedule a little bit different. If this is the way this team's going to play, the way they played tonight, we need to look at teams that are going to be a little bit more up pace, a little bit more reliant on the jump shot, and evaluate that as possibly more of a win or maybe not. And teams with a big, watch the hell out. Like you said, Embiid, forget about it. Milwaukee,
forget about it. Right.
Forget about it. It's not.
By the way, the Kings swept the Lakers all 4 games last year. They just got swept by the Lakers this year. What a difference a year makes, huh?
Man, return the favor. Let's see if Umar is ready. Umar, you there?
Hey there, Grant. Ryan, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling.
Of course. Grant, first time calling, and, I've become a Kings fan relatively recently, moved up to Sacramento, and just fell in love with the fan base and the commitment to the team that these fans had here. And, I grew up in LA, and it was very much a much more of a fair weather fan base down there. But
Yes,
this was
very much.
a true fandom up here, and that's what sold me. And then when I heard about what happened to you and seeing your clips and your commitment to the game and to the Kings, I was very sorry to hear what had happened there. And in some way, shape, or form, I hope you're recognized for everything that you've done for the city. And
Thank you.
politics aside, and differences aside, you get the recognition you deserve for what you've done for the team and the
Thank you.
city. So just wanted to say that. And I did want to ask Grant, obviously the Mike Brown firing came out of left field for so many of us. What would have been the changes you would have wanted to see? And if you covered that previously, I apologize, but
No.
the team definitely looked lost. And of course, that press conference by Fox, and I hope
Oh,
Fox shoulders some of the blame for what these decisions, because that was a bad look on everybody. And of course,
yeah.
Mike Brown had to bear the weight of the consequences. But what are the things you would have probably wanted
Okay.
done differently?
And first of all, I do appreciate you being a first-time caller, and I appreciate your words of support. It means a lot to me. I was very open about this when we did shows last summer with Ryan and Jerry. I would not have given Mike Brown a contract extension. There was no reason to. And I said so before they gave him the extension, and I said so the day he got his extension. I said there was no need for it. He had a full year left on his deal. The team had not made the playoffs the previous year, and you should have gone this year with Mike Brown in a situation where if things were going well when you got to the All-Star break, then you give him a new deal then. There was no reason to give him a new deal. So that's the first thing I would have done, and I was very public about that. Listen, I've been around sports like you have, and you've watched for a long time. When things go bad, it's the coach that pays the price because, as they say, you can't fire 12 guys, but you can fire the coach. I'm not anti-Mike Brown, but I understand why he was replaced. But Doug Christie should not have been given the interim job. He's not the guy. He didn't deserve it. You have 2 coaches with much higher tenure in front of him, one being Jay Triano. And to give Doug the job, who's 4th in the line on the bench, is just wrong. And that's why so many people around the country in sports are ripping the Kings to shreds, because it's a joke. Right now, I would make the best possible deal that I could for De'Aaron Fox. When I mean right now, I don't mean tonight, but I mean in the very near future. And I would get what I think is the best value I can find for him. I may wait until the trade deadline, But if I get a deal now that makes a lot of sense for my team, I'm trading him.
Yep.
That's the first thing I would do. Thank you for the call.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Happy New Year.
I think Mike Brown had one card that he never went to, and I think it's unfortunate because I think DeMar would have rolled with it. I would have brought DeMar off the bench. I think that would have changed things a little bit for this unit.
Can you imagine what it's like for the other assistant coaches like Jay? Think about this. He's the associate head coach.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when the head coach is like, if Mike Brown were coaching a game tonight, if he was still there and got ejected, Doug
Right.
Christie wouldn't coach the team.
Nope.
I mean, it's a joke.
Yeah, and that I think that's part of the reason too that the fan base has a problem with this, because the fan base is so in tune. They're one of the smartest fan
They
bases
are.
in the NBA, most
They are.
engaged. They understand the game. All of you understand the game at a different level.
Yes.
And that's part of the problem. You said it earlier. They're going to be professionals, but look, it's got to take a little bit of fire out of your belly, Grant. It
Amen.
absolutely does.
Hey, I want to tell you about Sunrise Landing in Calusa. You go to CalusaSunrise.com. You'll get all the information on beautiful Sunrise Landing from Blazona Development. I keep talking about these beautiful models, 6 and all to choose from. No Mellorews, no homeowners, adjacent to the Calusa Golf and Country Club. And again, it's right there for you, Sunrise Landing at CalusaSunrise.com. Good access to the major roads, I-5, 45, 20. It's great. Check it out. Again, just go to CalusaSunrise.com and check out Sunrise Landing.
I have one question for you that's got to get off before we
Yes.
end this show. But first, we're going to go to Josh. Josh, what's going on today?
Oh, I think you did me already. Oh,
did
shoot.
we? Okay, you're still
Yeah,
on?
I
All right,
don't know.
we've
I
had
was
a
just
couple of
watching.
repaints.
I was watching from here. Sorry.
You're
No
good,
problem.
dude. Appreciate you. Okay, I don't think I've ever asked you this question. Game was down in LA. Do
Yeah.
you have, and for the fan base, this gentleman that I'm going to ask about, you'll know who he is. Do you have any good Jimmy Goldstein stories?
Oh, I talk to Jimmy before every game. I don't have any good stories other than the fact he's the most knowledgeable basketball fan I've ever talked to. Ever. He's unbelievable. And he would always be so warm and hospitable
Yeah.
to me whenever I saw him. And I would talk to him for 10, 15 minutes. So would Jerry. We love talking to him. Great guy.
Incredible. That's incredible. Jimmy or James Goldstein, he's the guy that wears the flashy jackets, wears the
Yeah, the
flashy
hat.
hat. You see him courtside at almost every big game in the NBA in the postseason, but either at the Lakers or the Clippers game. And he'll travel around the country too during the season.
Oh,
to
yeah, he
see
goes
certain
everywhere.
games.
And the
Yeah.
guy's filthy wealthy. I mean, he's unbelievably wealthy.
Yeah. So he's a
Great.
treasure.
I love talking to him.
So I love seeing people that love basketball that
Yeah.
much. That's so
Yeah.
cool.
Yep. All right. I'll leave you with this. One game left in 2024, and this 2024 can't end soon enough for the Sacramento Kings. But just because we're turning the calendar after the Mavericks game to 2025, you got the same problems. You've got the same problems. And now you're 13 and 19. You're 13 and 19. And here's the reality of the situation. You're too far in the hole. And maybe Devin Carter emerges, Ryan, in a couple of days or a week or 2 weeks and gives this team a lift and some hope, but it's not going to be enough for this year.
No.
You know?
No. It's not going to be enough to get you over the hump, but it might give you enough to stay interested. And if you're a Kings fan, that's all you could ask for.
Somebody said, did I see De'Aaron Fox's comments after the game about Mike Brown? Are you talking about after the game tonight, after they lost 132 to 122? I did not see the comments because obviously we have been doing the show, but so I did not.
Yeah, I'm not seeing, at least my little area is not lighting up about anything De'Aaron said. I'm assuming that question relates to the end of the game against the Pistons. in which
Exactly.
you've seen
I don't
those.
think I don't know why De'Aaron would be asked about Mike Brown tonight. That would have been done yesterday at practice. Well, no,
He
it wouldn't have. He was still the coach.
so
Maybe
okay.
right?
So Mike, you know what? Good segue. De'Aaron was asked earlier today at shoot around about Coach Brown. We played one clip earlier that he slept on the plane when he learned about the news, but here's a more extended clip of what he had to say.
As a player, like when something happens like this, any pressure or guilt you feel when something big happens, like
Pressure or guilt?
like when somebody gets fired, do you feel like from a player standpoint?
I mean, obviously, you know, we all know the job that we have. You know, you could be traded at any point, released, cut, fired, whatever it may be. I mean, I wouldn't use the word guilt, but you know, that's the nature of the job that we have. But I mean, obviously, him signing his extension this summer, we felt like, you know, we'd be together, you know, a whole lot longer. But that's the decision that they made. But at the end of the day, too, you know, he's still getting paid. You know, it's a great part of being an NBA player, being an NBA coach is those things can happen.
The most interesting thing that De'Aaron said to me today, besides the sleep thing, Grant, was at practice, the practice before Christmas, he said, basically, we're going to need some help from the rest of the league for us to get right, for us to make the playoffs and do what we need to do. And he instead now says, we still got a ton of basketball left. We can still do this. So he's changed his tune a bit there now that Mike's gone.
I'm speechless. I really am.
Yeah.
It's a joke.
It is. It is. Jay, take us home tonight, buddy.
You know, I was debating on if I should jump in or not because I didn't want to keep you guys too late, but I didn't get Grant's initial reaction to the firing of Mike Brown. I got yours, though, Ryno.
Well, they should have never given him the extension in the summer. I've been on record as saying that. Listen, when things go bad, the coach pays the price. The problem I have is they should not have elevated Doug Christie to the interim role. That was wrong. That's the biggest problem I have with this. Not that I think Mike Brown should have been fired. I wouldn't have fired him, but I understand that's the way the league works, but I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have done it the way they did it. And I certainly would not have elevated Doug Christie to this position. It's just not right. And this is not anything against Doug. You know, I don't have a problem with Doug being the interim coach because I would have accepted it too if they had offered me the position, but it's wrong.
Did you have a problem with the way they did it?
I did have a problem with the way they fired Mike Brown. Absolutely. I mean, it's the whole thing was just wrong.
I feel bad about the way they did it. I don't feel sorry for Mike Brown.
I don't feel sorry for him. He's not
Right.
feeling sorry for himself either. Don't worry about
Right.
I'm not worried about Mike. He's just fine.
I do, like, if it were me and I were to let him go, I would talk to him in person and say, hey,
yeah,
I think it's best we part ways.
Yes.
But I you know, we've talked about his contracts and his history in his past. You know, $30 million and getting fired doesn't sound too bad to me. It's not like it's a dad who works paycheck to paycheck and then he got fired in that manner and he doesn't know how he's going to provide for his family. Then I would feel sorry. But he's all right. He
fine.
can wipe his behind with $100 bills every time he goes to the restroom for the rest of his life.
Yeah, I'm not, he's also relieved that he doesn't have to deal with this anymore. Trust me, I've been there. I know. He's better off. His life just got a lot better.
Yeah, but the bigger problem is you have a gutless owner that can't even look a professional in the eyes.
A coward.
And say,
coward.
You are relieved.
He's
That's
a disgrace.
The
guy is an absolute disgrace. There's no other way to say it. You just used the term coward. He is a coward.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yes, I totally agree with that. My reaction was a gasp. I don't ever gasp. I don't. That's what happened when I saw the ESPN notification on my phone, and I started making phone calls. I was waiting for you to jump on the stream because it happened about 1:30 p.m. Ryno. So it was about Sacktown, Ryan and
Kings Court.
Kings Court. You know, but you were saying too, you don't think that they're going to look for a replacement now. And
no,
I don't disagree with that. But at the same time, I like to look at both sides of the coin. And I think that if you're looking to compete right now, it's still early on enough to where you do want to look for that long-term replacement. If you want, you have a short window.
Not happening. No, there's no coach that's coming in to take over this team right now. That's not happening. It's not realistic. In my opinion.
That's very true.
I could be wrong, but I find that to be highly unlikely.
That's true too. I mean,
there's only
wasn't
one
tough.
coach available right now that would take the job, and that's Mark Jackson. He's the
Yeah,
only one because he
and
needs a
I know you
job,
told me.
wants a job, and he would take the job. But that's it. No one else is taking this job right now.
You told me Mark Jackson was a favorite of Vivek's.
Yep.
You know, one of his. But you know, I've asked around about the Mark Jackson thing, and some people have been kind of hesitant to hire him, apparently due to his.
He has one foot in basketball and one foot out. When he was coaching the Warriors, he
The
was in the
media.
building 50% of the time. No, his
Exactly.
church. His
Yeah,
church.
exactly.
He leads a church.
Yes.
Wait. I got to do some research on that. That's incredible.
Hey Jay, let's not even go there. Let's just. I would be shocked if the Kings hire a coach before the end of the season. Shocked.
Yeah, you know, yeah. Well, I'll see you guys Monday. There's nothing really positive. I mean, Devin Carter's debut was nice. I saw like the first quarter. It was nice, but besides that, there's nothing really positive.
Thank you, Jay.
Yep.
Happy
Thanks,
New
Jay.
Year to you. Appreciate it. Ryno, we will talk with you, I guess, before the Mavs game or at halftime and post game. I'll do a show. Let's say we got Monday Night Football. I'll do a show at 4:00 on Monday.
All right, Grant will be here at 4. Make sure that you put that in the calendars. Kings Court, 2:00 that day as well. And then we've got pregame, halftime, and postgame.
Thank you,
Here,
everyone.
give us a thumbs up. We really appreciate it. And the support the last 48 hours.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're the best. We appreciate you. We'll get through this together like we always do. All right. Hang in there. Talk to you on Monday. Bye-bye now.